Hey Biscuiteers, Fuchsia here. Today we're going to show Ward Havencraft featuring Wilbert, of course, Luminous Paladin, the new support for wards. He's been reprinted and this time he's very good. Anvil rotated out, so instead of like working to high roll into like an Anvil, you're now working to get 5 wards and then 10 wards removed, so you can get Wilbert's effect, which deals damage to your enemy, depending on how many wards you have in play. When you have 10 wards destroyed, and it also destroys an enemy follower and it summons a ward. It's very good. Temple Healer as well is a very good draw card. I think this is like a better version of Enchanted Knight, I think, because it's more consistent. And then, of course, this is an amazing card. It has Fanfare and Last Word, Summon a Holy Cavalier, and it can't be targeted, which makes it like a lot better, a lot more survivable, and makes people have to trade into it. So it's very, very cool. The art is very cool too, look at that. But yeah, basically the game plan becomes that, and also, of course, getting 5 Evos so you can get your Jupiters off, you can get your Holy Sabers off, and then even 14 damage with Holy Saber, you can deal that and then like deal 5 more damage with Wilbert effect by playing him on the 2 play point slot after playing 2 Holy Sabers, and then it's almost lethal. It's like 19 damage. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the games, and see you in the outro. Alright, so the first matchup I want to show was against Bloodcraft. So Evo Bloodcraft has been running around in the meta for a while now. Keep in mind this is the 3 meta we're talking about. And to be honest, it's quite strong, simply because Yuzuki is like such an easy Evo and such good removal. And on top of that, the invoke for the demon is like super easy because of that. And on top of that, the Avarice package is really good because it helps your Lauras, and your Lauras actually help your Evo plan. Playing Kali here, which also works with Avarice. I decided to just tempo out here. Unlike with the old Ward deck, you don't really rely too much on Sacred Groundskeeper or Unveiled High Rolls. It's just a really nice premium to have Sacred Groundskeeper here, but it's really okay to not have him. Now you can see here, I play Imperial Unicorn. This is of course preference. I prefer Imperial Unicorn because I also run Sacred Groundskeeper, and sometimes I feel like I struggle to get to 10 wards, and that's why I run him, because it's like a cheap amulet that sometimes I get to Evo for extra effects. Some people run different things, such as Abdiel instead. Abdiel I think will be relevant if Portal is on, but either way, this blood player is obviously taking advantage of their like superior power in Evos. Like Dog Detective and Kali are such good things going first. I do have a free Evo in Yearlong here, but I can't. But I realize I can't really leave up the 5-4, so I just choose to trade into it and then sacrifice the Yearlong here. Here we see the Yuzuki being played. It's a very strong card. You annual Evo it, and you get 1 free Evo with 4 damage, which is quite good. Aluzard, of course, a staple in every deck like this. And yeah, you can see in our hand though, there's 2 Shiros, and I had this 1 Shiro from the opening hand, and that makes a big difference because now we can clear this board much easier. If you didn't get the Shiro, it would have been much harder, and that's why I run 3 Shiros. But honestly, sometimes they also brick, but usually they don't brick too hard because you reduce them by playing the game, by just playing wards. You can also see that Wilbert is at 5, so right now I can destroy a follower, but because I only have 1 Wilbert in my hand right now, I want to like keep it so that I can use it to get to 10. So instead I play the Bellringer and then Evo it. That way I get another draw, and then also trade into this, and then it's exact clear with this. Quite good, and we get a 4-5 ward on top of that. And then of course the Sacred Groundskeeper pops out. 2 5 HP wards on turn 5, pretty good. Of course Yuzuki destroys a follower too. She's very good, but we have 5 HP here, so we actually do not gets 2 bodied by Yuzuki. Of course, Daka Detective comes to the rescue. And we ended up being cleared anyways, but not super effectively, which is the important part here. Here, because you have to get to that 6 Evos for the Holy Saber and Jupiter like effects. I just played the Lunar and Paladin, and then I traded them off instead of like playing the Shiro, because this way we get to the 10 wards and I can play the Wilbert. And now we evo the Wilbert for next turn we can play Jupiter, because we are getting low, and then we're dealing damage to your face. Turn 6 Wilbert is a bit high rolly, but turn 7 can be quite consistent depending on like how you play the wards. Turn 8 is guaranteed Wilbert basically. And this is quite scary. It seems like they almost have us, like they have the Bloodless Demon. Part of why I don't like going face against Blood is because this guy deals 8 damage, and usually you don't really mind that much because like okay, it clears your board anyways. But with wards, you actually do care, because sometimes you want your wards to like actually protect you. So keeping the AoE low is like super important sometimes. Either way, we have like 2 removal here. Perhaps this was a wrong choice. Maybe I should have banished the Alizard, but they have 2 Alizards, so it's not really a big deal. I play the Guiding Barrier Angel and then just Shiro here to create a gigantic board and also deal damage to their face. Now you can see without the Vengeance, they only deal like 2 damage, or yeah, I think they only do 2 damage. And so like it doesn't clear this board, especially with the big ding dong there. They do go face though, which is quite worrying. But yeah, this way they go back to full health, but we can play Holy Saber now. And because we have 5 Evos, Holy Saber now allows us to effectively play 2 more followers. I choose to play Wilbert here first, and I remove this one because I'm planning to trade into this, because I know they're running out of resources, and I feel I have better chances of grinding them out rather than trying to lethal them at this point. And I don't want to give them Vengeance. This way we threaten lethal and we protect ourselves while sustaining a lot of stats on board. Now here we go, Alucard, another Bloodlust Demon. See if the... However, I was gonna say, see if this was Vengeance, if that'll matter, but actually no, because we do have the effect. Now if we had another Holy Saber there, that would have been lethal. Unfortunately we didn't. But still, the reason I did not attack there is because I'm such a potato brain. I thought I could prevent Vengeance by like not attacking. I completely forgot I had the Wilbert effect, so... it's not lethal, so it doesn't matter that much, but yeah, that was a bad play. Either way though, they Desperation Grimnir, hoping to lethal us, and they fail, so we win. Alright, second game I wanted to show was against Forestcraft. Now Forestcraft I think is one of the top decks in this meta. The Ladika game plan is like severely weaker, I think, and the pure aggro game plan is also weaker, I think. But the Sekka game plan got significantly buffed with the addition of Amataz, as you will see later in this match. So we get to play Sacred Groundskeeper here, and the power of Xeno Paradoxical Shield will be shown soon. The thing is, with Xeno's Paradoxical Shield, because the Holy Cavaliers can't be targeted, their Blast Fairies are completely ineffectual here, so they actually have effectively no early removal for this, other than actually playing followers. And because most of their followers are 1/1s early on, except like Alberta, we can effectively just trade into it with our wards and not have too much of a hassle. Now I set up for Karmia here because a Karmia into a board like this will be super strong because it'll buff. However, they do know about that play and instead choose to give Amataz free Evo and not give us a target to play Karmia. Knowing that, I play Heartbloom instead here, which is quite an okay tempo play I think, because it gives a card draw anyways later. Obviously we don't want to play the Wilbert. And then we get the Sacred Groundskeeper too. Now, this area is like not removing too much. It's like removing two things. It's a paradox with Wardhaven because on one hand you're glad that you can go face with the followers, and as we'll see later, I basically like take advantage of this to like Evo Heartbloom and play the Karmia because this is just presenting too much damage and too much of an effective play point use for me to ignore. I would play the Wilbert here, but I only have one of him. If I had two Wilberts, I would have played him. But yeah, we deal a lot of damage because they let our board live. The downside of this, of course, is that Wilbert is still at 3. They're evoing to heal here. And of course, Forest can keep trading into wards. So this is the weakness of wards to Forest. We don't have too much heal. Like, we have Jupiter, and that's basically it, unless you run Chef. And of course, Holy Saber. So it's really tricky to play against Forest. You just have to make sure you heal quite in time, like you heal Jupiter in time. Here I just play Lunar and Paladin and hope they don't have a turn 6 lethal. Going first actually really helps because like the Forest lethals is usually at turn 7-ish, I would say. And now we get to I just like want to increase the Shiro count and also increase the ward death count so that Wilbert can go active. Here they play Miracle Harvest, just playing as many fairies as they can, right? Like healing and dealing more damage to our board and to our face. Here's Blast Fairy. Trading here. Trading there. Of course, we know that our Jupiter is active. And here is the strength of Amataz. Look at this. He bounces everything, so all of that is counted as removed followers, and he summons 4 removals, basically. With Arya, Amataz is insane. And look at this, he also gets buffed up, which is insane. However, we do have the answer to that, which is a Jupiter. So I do play that and heal up to 15. Wilbert is up, so I just play him and start doing damage. I was thinking about the second Wilbert, but I think that's just too greedy. So instead I Shiro here, and then play a Heartflame Warrior, just for more draw and the 5 damage to face. And suddenly they're at 6 face HP, right? And this is where I don't know why they're playing Pierce. This is an interesting choice, I guess because it recovers you a lot of play points. But I would have thought maybe like a normal combo would have been better. But then again, this board is quite strong. They're able to remove one of the threats here and then clear the board. Maybe that was their thought, trying to clear the board as effective as possible, trying to deal damage. But unfortunately for them though, our turn 8 comes first, so that means of course we can play Holy Saber, which nullifies all incoming effect damage. Very strong card, means they can't chip damage us again, means they can't Sekka against us. But we already have lethal, right? Because they had 6 HP. I just wanted to maximize my plays here. And yeah, Ward can win against Forest. Alright, so this time it's against Shadowcraft, and it's a different kind of overview this time because I feel bad like posting this video if I didn't mention that Ward is like really unfavored against Shadow in my experience. Like really, you have to get okay. So in this particular game, I don't show them like usual curb stomping me with like an early raider. Instead, I'm showing you how even the possibility of you winning with Ward is possible, okay? First, you have to make sure you high roll with Andre. That means double Lunarian, that means 2 Evos from maybe a Yurlong or maybe from the Karmia. I do get the Yurlong, I do get the Lunarian Paladin, I do get the Andre. At this point, I'm quite invested in this, I'm quite like interested. They play 2 of these, probably maybe expecting us to play something to attack. I play Temple Healer instead. They just setting themselves up, and then I just I just play Xenos Paradoxical Shield here because why not? It's a very good card. And then they struggle to remove their board here, their own board, especially because it seems they do not have the rebirth, the Wicked Rebirth. So instead, I just take advantage of this. Unfortunately, we didn't have a Carmia, but I did have a Wilbert. So I evoed the Wilbert, and you might be thinking, why would you play the Wilbert here? Now here's the thing, you don't win against Shadow unless your Andre SSA is active, in my experience. Or if you're doing something like me, like just playing tempo super early on so that they can't match it. Like they have a hard time matching it. And then we just try to remove as much value as possible, this Evos, and now we have a pretty good board. And the Krampus here, amazing card by the way, and Cernumas. This is probably, yep, a Suzy burial rite, Evo this, and then you summon the Suzy and it begins. Solemn Gravekeeper makes sure the shadow count is still there, and then they just start going ham, trading in, not trading in the wards, which is interesting to me. I just play another Yulong here, and usually I would never play this at 3, but at this point I'm just like so not I'm saying experienced, like I've experienced so many losses against Shadow that I just like, okay, I have to tempo here. Like I have to take a risk because that's the only way you kind of win, is that you tempo out and threaten them while charging up your Andre. Because either way, you're going to get smart. Especially because I don't have any removal, right? So here they go. They honestly did not have Raider, which is very good for us. They did not have Raider. They did not invoke turn 2 Suzy, and honestly, sometimes you need that luck. With this kind of Shadow power level, honestly, you kind of need that luck. Unfortunately. Here I just play the Lunarian Paladin, just hope that that next turn I'll pull something good, so that the Andre will be active. Clear the board here, Evo the Lunarian Paladin, make sure that Andre is like on course to be active next turn with one more effect, with one more Evo effect. Here's their Suzy invoke, and then they play Otherworld Gatekeeper, but their ding-dongs, their Bellingers are already all played, so it actually does nothing. So they Wicked Rebirth it instead, summons a ding-dong, summons a Psychopomp, which is interesting. I feel like they should have traded a bit more instead, but yeah, they just give up. Too much tempo, they probably didn't have Raider, and that's basically the only way you can win against Shadow, to be honest, with this deck. Alright, so those were the games, guys. Honestly, I don't think this is a tier 1 deck, in my experience. Just because of the meta right now, that's like heavily anti-board. But I think that it has potential. It's very good. It's very consistent because of the addition of Temple Healer, the addition of Heartbloom Warrior. These cards just add so much draw that this deck desperately needed. And I think the addition of Wilbert as a win condition, as an alternative, an additional win condition to Holy Saber is very nice. Xenos Paradoxical Shield is amazing. And yeah, basically the only big minus about this deck is that it loses hard to Shadow in my experience. Tell me down below if you think otherwise, or if you've found out a way to play against Shadow that's like better. But yeah, I think that's the biggest weakness of this deck. Like it just like folds to Shadow, I feel like, just because you're playing followers all the time. But at the same time, like Shadow is like tier 1, so I think this is like pretty good. Of course, this day 3 meta, don't take it super seriously. But either way, in terms of like the fun factor, this deck has it. Yeah, and I just love Wilbert. So if you like this video, guys, give it a thumbs up. If you loved it, give me a sub, and like always, have a great day. Why is my internet lagging? La 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 la.